All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi recap presented by the Not Move podcast. It's Jimmy, and let me start off by saying this: for as hyped up as it was supposed to be, it was not. It did not deliver. We've been getting banger caught. We've been getting spoiled with the results. The fighter quality might not have been there. The names might not have been there, but the results were there. And this card, the results were not there. There was very little action. One of the fights was probably the worst of the entire year, to be honest. Probably one of the worst fights of the entire year between two fighters. They weren't really fighting. There was just a light sparring session between the two. But let's go ahead and break down the 6.2 card, probably I'll say 6.2. All right, to start off the night, we had Martin Buchecha making his UFC debut. It was a Brazilian, or is a Brazilian, um, black belt. He's had all these uh, jiu-jitsu accolades mounted up in his whole career, and he just gets laid on and body bag, not really body bag. He just get out grappled by Martin Boudet, who is a seasoned UFC vet. But for as much hype as this guy had coming in, it was very underwhelming. It was an underwhelming performance for sure. And let's just keep it moving. Stephen Nguyen absolutely destroyed Muhammad Yahya. Absolutely smoked it. Like, he couldn't get a Well, he couldn't get like a TKO, but he got like a stoppage. And this guy knocked down Muhammad Yahya 6 times in the first round, 5 times in the second round. He got knocked down one time himself. This fight it was like it reminded me of a middle school bully fight, man. That dude. But I mean, props to Muhammad Yahya. I kept on getting back up just to get beat down. Like, if you go back and look at his face after this fight, bro's eye was huge, bro. Absolutely swollen shut. That's why they had to stop it. Um, crazy that they even. I mean, he's only there because he is the UAE warrior and is in Abu Dhabi. Got to represent the home country. But props to you for staying in there. But dude, you got to fight with your hands up. You can't fight down here with your hand. You can't block nothing down here with your hands down. All right, next up on the card, Tabitha Ritchie gets a knockout or TKO victory over Amanda Ribas. Listen, the scrappy baby shark, man. She came in. Her coaches she came in, was trying to push her grapple game. Because she's undersized against Ribas for sure, and she was trying to combat that she did. Her coaches told her, like, as soon as you go for the clinch, throw the elbows. And what does she do in round two? Throws the elbows, knocks uh Ribas down, and then eventually gets the TKO finish. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Uh, Good win for Richie, keeping her moving up in the ranks of her division. All right. The next fight was Damon Blackshear versus Davy Grant. Now, I might be a little bit salty on this one because I had Damon Blackshear winning. Like, I picked it and it was wrong. Damon Blackshear dominated round one, but then in round two and three, Davy Grant just outpaced him, out everything, man. He better on the feet, even on the stuffed a couple take. He was just all over him. And I will hand up. I got this wrong. I predicted it wrong. Yeah, but he was a warrior. That was probably one of the better fights on the card, to be honest. Uh, a lot of UDs, and this one was the first of. Well, no, it wasn't the first of many because the first of many was the first fight, but this was one of the many UDs on the card. This is the second one, and we got many more to go. The next fight, Muslim Salikov, 41 years old, KOs Carlos Leal, this like rising prospect that everyone had by KO or submission. He ended up getting knocked out in the first round. Absolutely crazy. The Kung Fu guy from Dagestan smokes Carlos Leal. Absolutely absurd. I keep talking like this card was bad, and you'll see why in the like with the decisions and stuff. But the prelims always have some heat on them, a little bit of heat. This was the last finish on the prelims. and there was only one more finish on the card after this, if I remember correctly, which I think I do. But yeah, you know, didn't expect that to happen. He was a crazy underdog, one of the biggest underdogs on the card. But let's keep moving. Up the card, we had Bryce Mitchell and Saeed Nurmagomedov, Khabib's cousin. And Khabib's cousin, Saeed, smoked Mitchell in the jaw once with his knee. He got him on the entry of the knee, but Bryce Mitchell does what Bryce Mitchell does, and that's grapple. And this was a long, grueling grappling match, which had some exciting exchanges in between. But you know, you know what you're getting with a Bryce Mitchell match, and it's a hard, dirty fought decision that Bryce got. And then let's move up to the opening main card opener. Bogdan Guskov versus Nikita Krylov. The last finish on this card. But this man, Bogdan, absolutely freaking slept Nikita Krylov, man. Freaking first round KO, 450. Bro, it was bad. This man, Nikita Krylov's on a two KO losing streak. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know why he came back on a 3 month notice to even fight to begin with. I guess his money was running low or something. But he got paid, but he got paid to get KO'd, man. Crazy stuff. All right, next up on the card, we had what was after that? I'm trying was it Jose Ochoa? I might go out of order here, but I know all the fights on the card, so please excuse me. Jose Ochoa and Asu Amabayev. Now Jose Ochoa taking this fight on 1 month notice, even though he had a fantastic match, a fantastic performance in his last one. I thought he could win this match. I thought it was the difference maker because uh, him Asu or Amabaya. I'm gonna call him Amabaya. I'm gonna call him my last name. I can't do Asu. Amabaya was training for Timarov, and Timarov is a completely different guy than uh, Jose is. But Amabaya completely dominated him, man. Like Ochoa had showed moments, but I mean, anytime Amabaya, like I don't know, this was a great match. To be honest, it was a great fight. I think Jose's a little too green. I think he was him taking this fight on a month notice. I think he should have waited, but he's a dog. He wants to fight. That's in his nature. He wants to move up the ranks quick. He's a highly contended prospect. He'll get back in there, and we'll see him in the top 15 soon eventually. Because the flyweight division is kind of, I don't know. There's not as much competition, but I think he was just he didn't have a full camp, so coming into this, he put up a great fight for what was a weaker camp for him. But good win by Amabayev, complete UD. I think it's 29-28 in a split decision there. Next up, we had who did we have after that? I think there was one more fight before. Uh, oh yeah, there was. It was Shara and Marc Andre Barrio. And Shara's always fighting in Abu Dhabi. Everyone wants the Shara fight in Abu Dhabi. Uh, he's coming off of his loss to MVP, where MVP was a point fighter, and we were expecting like a typical Shara fight where he finds the KO, and we just didn't get it. Marc Andre Barrio stood in there, stood his ground, but he ultimately ended up getting worked the whole fight. Shara was just better in every aspect, and he took home the W with a great decision win. I wouldn't say great. Great, only great things, knockouts. All right, but no, that's kind of casual. But man dominated Marc Andre Barrio the whole fight all the way through. Speaking of domination, this man Piotr Jan, bro, this man Piotr Jan won't give up his fight, won't go away. He wants to be in that title picture. He deserves to be in that title picture, and he shows that by beating a raging contender in Marcus McGee. Marcus McGee had all the hype behind him, you know, coming in, but I feel like this was a levels test, and Marcus is just not ready yet. Similar to the Jose Ochoa fight, honestly. He just Peter was just better on in every aspect, man. I don't really know much more to say on that. It's just I think Peter is probably one fight out from the chip. I think they'll give him. I don't even know who they'll give him. Maybe I don't have the list in front of me, but Peter should be in a number one contenders match soon. or Piotr should be in a number one contenders match soon to get him another chance at the title. Honestly, maybe him versus Umar. I don't know. We'll see what they'll do. All right. After that, the main event of the evening: RDR versus Robert Whitaker. And I thought we were gonna get the same thing with the Piotr Jan fight. The old guard refusing to go down without a fight. And I mean, Robert Whitaker put up a hell of a fight. He won he almost finished RDR, but he couldn't get the TKO on the ground, and they ended up giving RDR the 29-28 split decision, not a unanimous. So this was a close fight. It was hard to I don't know. It was very close the whole way. This was a great fight. One of the better ones on the card for sure. It's the main event, so they were showing out for sure. Robert Whitaker always puts on a performance in Abu Dhabi, whether it's him getting the results or him getting finished. But Robert Whitaker is always there. He's a UFC legend. Uh, the cards didn't fall in his favor today, but he'll be back. Well, he'll be back for a money fight probably. I don't see him. He's gonna lose his top five position. Puts him out of the top five in his division. We'll see where he lands. Probably eight. He'll try to drop a couple spots, but RDR. He's certain he wants the title fight. He called out Hamzat. Or no, he called out Duplessis. I think Hamzat probably wins that, so he'll probably fight Hamzat. Maybe, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. In other news, I mean, Dana White announced UFC 320, banger, absolute banger card. He's put out so far, Pereira and Kalaev 2, Marab versus Sandhagen, and Yuri, Prohashka versus Carlo Roundtree. Probably one of the most stacked cards we have this year, name wise, so that's something to look forward to, as well as the finally announced Tom Aspinall fight as he fights Cyril Gane October 24th. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, two pay-per-views in October because there's none in September. But hey, we'll take what we can get. October 24th, Abu Dhabi, Tom Aspinall returns, and he fights for the first time to become the heavyweight. Well, he is the heavyweight champion, but it's the first time he's defending the heavyweight belt. And this is Cyril Gane's first time fighting Tom Aspinall after Tom Aspinall wanted to fight Cyril Gane 4 different times, or 3 different times. This is the fourth time they've been set to schedule to fight. So we'll see. I think Tom gets him out of there early, but there's some great cards coming up. UFC 319, Chimaev Duplessis. I'll make sure to get a preview and prediction out for that for the Not Move crew. That's going to be a great card. There's some fight nights I have to look up, but the UFC is always year round, man. It's putting out great content. The Contender Series is coming back the week of October 4th, so we got some new stars coming out. So stay ready for the UFC, man. It's always moving up. Not move, Jimmy. Signing out. Good.